Good afternoon, Heat Nation, folks, Folkettes, and everything in between and beyond. My name is Roy, the host of My Happiness. I keep uh, being and saying that I am the only host in the history of the internet who fully and wholeheartedly admits that he has no idea what he's talking about, but I keep trying. And I actually still want to watch um, the last episode of Five Reasons Sports after the blowout against the Bucks. Haven't gotten to it yet. Haven't watched anything yet. I was just depressed to make this video. But I also want to put things in perspective. So first of all, in terms of a a Butlerless game, obviously this was the worst game that we've had in the season. Um, it's a lot different than the Blazers. I'm going to still say that the most humiliating loss possible. That's it. It's done because the series is over. Was against the Blazers. We are allowed to lose against the Suns, but we against the Bucks, but we don't want to lose by 30 points plus, right? And this time, the second quarter was a disaster. The third quarter was pretty close. The fourth quarter was okay. The second quarter was a disaster, and they just, afterwards in trash time, shooting what I think we got 12 out of 51 shots from beyond the arc. Um, Again, not many fast breaks because the defense is lacking. That aspect of the game is an aspect that I think that requires a lot more focus. And let's say the offense is complicated enough, but defense requires discipline and focus on an extra level. And regardless of what age in the NBA we're talking about, this is always going to be the case that defense is going to win you games more often than just a super offense, because you get the chance to stop a super offense if you have a great defense, right? You get it to, at least to slow them down. And I think that that's pretty much where we are right now. We are in a situation in which, regardless of how much Tyler Hero grew and how much he's improved, regardless of the fact that I still don't think Duncan Robinson is a problem, but still, didn't do well yesterday. We still have the issue of not having Love not being available. Now there are even rumors that he may be involved in a trade to Memphis, which Jimmy Butler already said that he doesn't want to go to Memphis, and I don't know I don't know how much what he wants right now is being taken into consideration, But I bet that they still don't want to have to do him wrong. I think that what Joe Cronin did to Lillard was doing him wrong. Like if at least he negotiated with us, but he didn't want to open a precedent, and that's okay, whatever. That's what happened with him, and that's why the Blazers need to be defeated every time that we play against them. But this is not a typical season. Now, looking back, we started the season until about 10 games ago. Still thinking about this is just a new offense. It's a new build. With an old build comes a new philosophy in the offense, and we were able to execute it to perfection in the preseason, as if that counts for something, and then we weren't able to execute it well throughout most of the games in the regular season. You could say, now we are under 500, right? 21-22. And we've never been more than 3 games above 500. So you could say about half the games, or a little bit over half the games, we didn't play to our potential. And that's exactly what I think that is happening right now. Meaning, it's not that Bam is as bad as he's playing. And that explains last season as well. Because now that I'm thinking of it, if the main issues started after we went to the finals against the Nuggets, and then in the offseason lost Max Strus and Gabe Vincent and all that, which theoretically was the beginning of this Butler disgruntlement that we're seeing right now, then last season, Butler also played with that in mind. That was also weighing on him. And that's how we got to where we got. And in the end of the day, I think the same thing is happening right now. Jimmy Butler's distraction is not a mild distraction, it's a big distraction. It's a distraction that also makes other people in the team feel insecure about their own future in the team. This was supposed to be a build to maximize Butler. And again, I agree. I'm not going to be contrarian. It is true that the front office, in my opinion at least, did fail, but I don't think they failed as badly as people are saying that they failed. I don't think that they understand that in the end of the day, it's not about players not wanting to come here. It's the fact that we viewed our assets at the time as being a lot more than others viewed our assets. And some of them paid off and some of them didn't quite pay off. We thought that Duncan Robinson was going to be an incredibly solid role player, and then he had a huge slump in that I would say second and third years, right? And then he kind of came back. He was injured. He came back, and then started contributing. Came out of the starting rotation. Came back to the starting rotation. Starting lineup. It's very complicated when it comes to Robinson, but I don't think Robinson paid off as much as we valued him. I think Hero did, but it took some time for him to pay off. And now Bam, who we know that has had a great relationship with Butler, is not playing up to his potential, and you wonder why. And you wonder why. It's not that the team sucks, guys. This same team did a lot, even without Jimmy Butler, throughout most or a great part of the past two regular seasons. When we went to the finals and when we were gentlemen swept by the Celtics last season. So this group did a lot. And I know that there are other pieces, and unfortunately, we look back at the trade with Rozier with anger, and I don't care if I was happy. I was happy because people in Five Reasons Sports were happy, and they regret that they were happy about it. Because that was a -1, right? And we thought that we were going to get something better than Lowry, and we ended up getting something that is pretty much the same or even worse. So we don't know exactly where we are or where we stand when it comes to our future. And it's going to reflect itself on a day-to-day basis and in how we play basketball. Now, you're going to ask me, am I going to watch the game tomorrow against the Nets? You bet I will. Do I think we're going to win? There's no way that right now we can just think about basketball and think purely in basketball terms. So no, there is no way to know what's going to happen tomorrow. There's no way to know who's going to play tomorrow. There's no way to know if Pelle Larsson is going to be included in a trade, as I heard floated around as well. In any case, regrettable loss, the way that we lost, but again, very unsurprising. And I just wish people understood that instead of every time being so disappointed, like it's the first time that the Heat lose like that, understand that this is not a normal season. You can't look at it from purely basketball perspective. You have to look at it from the entire business perspective, everything that's transpired until now, and how it's affecting the players, regardless of whether the person is physically there or not. So understand that this drama is probably not going to be over until the end of the season, regardless of what happens before February 6th. Stay safe, stay dry, stay warm, and stay as happy as possible in this complicated world of ours. Let's go Heat.